Hi, my name is Vishal. I hope you guys are doing good. Today's video is about topology, what is topology and its importance. When it comes to 3D modeling, every modeler must acquire this skill set. That's why I feel it necessary to make one video on topology. So before any delay, let's get started. So before I start with this video, here's a quick note. This video is not really very beneficial for any CAD modeler or AutoCAD artist or any SolidWorks artist. Now, what is topology? Well, if you Google it, you will get some information, but the oversimplified definition about topology is it is a geometric grid or a mesh on any 3D object or on a shape. As we get into a 3D space or as we enter into a 3D world, any scene or any object is always made up of some shape, and that shape could be made up of any topology. Now, what is meaning of any topology? Well, it means it could be that shape could be made up of tries, that could be made up of quads, that could be made up of n-gons. What is quad, tries and n-gons? Before explaining you the quad, tries and n-gons, let me explain some of the fundamentals about the modeling. Now here, as you see on my screen, here is one plane, and if you enter into edit mode, merge it at center, you will get this dot. This dot is called as a point in Cinema 4D. This same dot is called as a vertex in a Blender, and this same dot is called as a polygon on a academic purpose. That is why we have a two terms, one is a high poly model and a low poly model. Well, individually it is just a dot, but if you have a two dot and if you connect those two dots, you will get this line. This line is called as a edge, and if you have anything or any face which is made with or I would say any face, yes, any face which is made with more than two edges, it is one face, and that face is tri. Now a tri means a face which is made with three edges, a quad means a face which is made with four edges, and a n-gon means any face which is made with more than four edges, it is n-gon. Now after explaining about the quad, tris and n-gons, what is good topology? Well, a good topology means any shape or object which is built with mostly quads, less tris or no tris and n-gons. Well, nothing against the tris and n-gons, but tris and n-gons create some problem on a curved surface, or when I apply or when we apply subdivision surface modifiers. Now, why we need a object with a good topology, or why we need some object with the quad mesh rather than a tri mesh? Well, let me show you here. Here are two objects, one made with a good topology, it has a good edge flow and with a quad mesh, and a second object, it is made with a tri. Now in a good object, if I am willing to insert some loop cuts, it is easy. It is easy to extrude the faces, and it is easy to apply subdivision surface modifiers or any deform modifier. Despite of that, on the another object, you don't get that luxury of modeling, because if you try to insert some loop cuts, it is very difficult. If I want to unwrap this for the UV mapping, it's a problem. And if any object which is made with so high poly count, then forget about UV mapping. Now if I apply some subdivision surface modifier, the modern algorithms, the 3D algorithms on this object which is made with that topology, you see you get this shading and pinching effect, whereas on the object which is made with the good topology, there is no shading and pinching effect. The one of the leverage you receive on a good topology object is vertex count. You can manipulate the vertex count, whereas on the 3D object, it might be low poly because render engines at the back end they use the tries because this reason. But for the future modification or any data manipulation in the future, it is really problematic. One of the advantage which I like to explain here, in my previous jobs when I have to develop some 3D shape which with the hologramic impression, that time I need an object with the good topology. But that time I'm really new to 3D and I'm learning that time, so I could not be able to land that type of animation. But I am making one depicted animation for yourself, so you can see if you have an object with the good topology, you can get this type of animations with that object. And I have covered all the possible topics. One topic is left, that is a render, because all the 3D software in the back end they use tries over quads, whether it's a path tracer, ray tracer, raster engine, any modern or old render engine. But the point I would like to explain or I would like to share with you is that when uh, when I speak about the polygon, it reminds me my old days when I used to develop graphical presentation for myself, and that time on a Photoshop there was trend happening which called as a low poly Photoshop graphics, and I have made one of the graphics for myself. Nowadays there are AI scripts and some of the plugins available to develop this type of graphical presentation, but that time I developed that for myself. I feel I have covered all the possible topics. Nothing is left except the render. That subject required another video. I might make one, I might not. That based on the future. So, thank you so much for watching this quick video. I hope I'll see you soon.